I said I'll always remember the wood grain beneath my feet in a busy street.
So before Warped Tour started, they always do this thing where it's the road to Warped Tour, and they do a show in Alaska before the actual tour starts. I think it was the third one that they had done, but we had never been to Alaska. They happened to ask us to come out this time.
And I've always wanted to go to Alaska. It's been like one of my top spots I've always wanted to visit.
So we flew there, they put us up in a hotel, and like we had a day off before the actual show. We decided to just kind of roam around.
Usually our first question to any new place is, what is there to eat? What's the good places? What is it known for?
We were told by like local people, like you have to go to like the street vendors that instead of selling hot dogs, they have reindeer sausage that actually they get straight from hunters pretty much. So it's like super fresh.
Literally the first thing we did, threw our bags in our hotel room and then went and sought it out.
We stopped and were like, all right, now we're going to get king crab, but we want to try this. So we ended up buying a few, stuffed ourselves before we went to dinner, and then we had Alaskan king crab and stuffed ourselves even more. I feel like all we did in Alaska was just eat.
We went into Humpy's.
Pigged out, maybe spent too much money. Got all the like Alaskan king crab and crab nuggets and all this like chowder and just feasted, and it was so good.
That's the fucked up part about Alaska. It has periods of like 24 hours of light.
It was 11 p.m. So obviously anywhere else in America, it's gonna be nightfall. And it was still so bright outside.
Come out in the middle of the night and expect it to be dark, and it just still looks like this. It looks like
midday light out. Like I was wearing sunglasses at 11 p.m. light out. And I didn't realize, like I knew about it. Everyone knows that Alaska is like that, and people warn us, they were like, it's gonna be light out the whole time you're there. We're like, all right, well, sure, yeah, it sounds cool. It was the most disorienting thing of my life.
I mean, I hated it. I hate sunlight, so it was actually a nightmare.
First of all, going to Alaska was like surreal because it was somewhere I've wanted to go since I was a kid.
They organized a party bus for all the bands that they invited to fly to the Road to Warped Tour.
And the party bus was exactly that. Like it was an insane party on the way to like see some real nature stuff.
It pretty much took most of the day on this party bus, and
if you drank, you had to take a shot to get on the bus. And so we're like, all right, yeah, it's cool. Like I'll take a shot, get on the bus and like hang out. And it's like, no, like there's like people in there. There's like 3 people that's like serving out drinks, like just pouring things in your mouth. It was crazy. And also I think it's important to note that this is our first time hanging out with Sleeping with Sirens, like as a whole, like our bands as a whole together. One of their guys who works for them, his name's Jake Willard. He toured with us, and he was just like, "You guys will get along. Like, just trust me." Like,
we became friends with Sleeping with Sirens like instantly.
Well, in my defense, you weren't like all the rest. I can't pretend I know everything. When I'm expecting less, it just makes more sense. But we could still be anything, living a life in symmetry. Just don't grow too reliant on me, 'cause I'm not the person I wanna be. We could still be anything. I want the world to set you free. Just don't grow too reliant on me, 'cause I'm not the person that I wanna be.
Yeah, we had an awesome day. They took us all around. We went and went to this wildlife resort where there was a bunch of like bears and moose and wolves and all these crazy animals.
And we get there, and I remember I was so drunk. I was just like, I like went and looked at things. I was like, yeah, reindeer, cool, bear, cool. I was like, I need food, dude. Like, where's the food?
I got bras in Alaska.
We could still be anything, living a life in symmetry.
We stopped at a random bar, this like Alaskan kind of biker bar. You like write your name on a dollar bill, put it on the ceiling, everybody's playing pool, and luckily there were no like locals there that could have got mad at us. That could have ended horribly. But
All the lies create more strife, and I'm telling you, if it's meant to be, the last thing I
on like the last like hour and a half, it got the most lit. We hit a point at the wildlife place where we were just like, okay, like we're fucked up. But then on the way back, it was just like gone. I think like we crowd surfed Kellen like across the bus. Our front of house guy was the most drunk I think I've ever seen him.
But he was having a good time.
We could still be anything, living a life in symmetry. I hope your tears are drying on me, 'cause now I'm the person I wanna be. We could still be anything, I want the world to set you free. And I hope your tears are drying on me, 'cause now I'm the person I wanna be.
Oh man, sorry mom. We had a good time. Actually, I think she'd be proud of me.
State Champs F's with Earth, Wind, and Fire like pretty hard. This is the day that it became our song. Like we listened to it in the bus like pretty often, but this is the day that it became our song.
You know, that like, sure we do a lot of traveling and get to play in all these cool places, but a lot of time, like being on tour and playing, is like a literal waiting game. You sit around and you get really bored. You have to find a way to stay active and like find little things to do, especially when it's just like, you know, waiting backstage or, you know, waiting to play and getting ready and trying to like shake off either any nerves or just like boredom basically. So it's cool to make friends with bands, and like when we were in Alaska, like clicking with Sleeping with Sirens, Crown the Empire, like do stupid things, play basketball, you know, like go around skateboard, like I said, or just literally explore. Like, you gotta find the way to pass the time.
Avalon playing on the late night radio. Still lit a match with your nails on my back, and something tells me I'll never learn. Just another slow